everybody, and welcome. Our guest reader this evening is Effie Rogers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
And when she works with you, she needs to hear your voice. So can you please turn your phones off if you've got one? Nobody's got one. Okay. And we'll start with a prayer, and I'm going to ask Effie if she'll start with an opening prayer, please, upon this.
Thank you, Mike. Be good enough to join me. Divine, eternal Creator, higher spirits, guides and teachers, and all of the loved ones who are waiting in the wings, we thank you for bringing forth your energy and your love, and bringing each and every one of us safely to this thy sanctuary. We appreciate that we do need the rain for the flowers and all the plants and the animals, but we did like the sun as well. So, dear Lord, would you be good enough to give us some sun back? We would like to send out healing around the world wherever it is required, irrespective of race, creed or colour, and give thanks for the healers, whether they be doctors, nurses, carers, spiritual healers, those names and addresses in the books, and we do not forget the mums and dads that do so much individual healing. To the young men and women in uniform, whether they be Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, Fire, Ambulance men, that when they are working and they're acting on our behalf as a community and as a society, that they do follow the ethos, basically, which is one towards peace rather than conflict. Likewise, when the leaders of the world gather together, dear Lord, I would ask that you and the hierarchy of angels also try to influence them to keep towards peace, for all our brothers and sisters around the world are equally entitled to a roof over their heads, clothes on the back and food on the tables. And for the animal kingdom, the wild animals in particular, we do at last begin to understand what is required to keep these animals alive and in good herds. It has taken a long time for us to get this knowledge bedded down, likewise with all regards to our planet as well. And I sincerely hope that this generation can pass on some further information to keep everything going as it should be. And in saying that, dear Lord, I will leave this service in your hands. Amen.
Thank you. We have a healing list here which I'm going to read out, which you have put here. And then we're going to have a healing silence for just about a minute. And I want you to send out your thoughts to anybody you know who needs upliftment and healing. Imagine them in better circumstances than what they are at the moment. Great Spirit of all life, we think of those in need of healing and upliftment, far and near. May mankind be given thoughts of goodwill towards each other and all animals. Our healing list is as follows: Tony Knott, Rachel, Wendy, Karen, Lorraine, Mark, Mick, Les, Ronnie, Sarah, Steve, Jenny, Maureen and Charlotte. If you can send your thoughts out, we'll have a silence, and then I'm going to ask you to be outstanding and help me sing the healing hymn, because I haven't got the best voice, so I need your support. Yeah. pray. Will you please be upstanding? And we'll sing the hymn. Gracious Spirit of thy goodness,
hear our anxious prayer. Take our loved ones who are suffering, neath thy tender care. Loving Father, hear us, hear us. Gracious Spirit, may thy presence shed a healing ray, turning all the nights of darkness into glorious day. Loving Father, hear us, hear us. Gracious Spirit, shouldst thou claim them, be their light and guide. Take them to thy heavenly kingdom, safely by thy side. Loving Father, hear us, hear us.
Amen. Thank you. We have Sam here, she's going to give us a reading or a little talk or something which I'm not sure about, so...
It's making it
Thank you.
It's special again today, isn't it? As I said last week, I decided in my infinite wisdom that I would start finding little true life stories that people have told that mean something to them. So today I decided to talk about our precognitive dreams, just because. And here's a little story that someone put in. Below us, the water level was rising fast. Looking down at the deck chairs and patio tables, swirling wildly in the seawater below, I pushed my children up the hotel's metal fire escape, urging them to hurry. Go on, upstairs, quickly, I yelled. We got the heavy metal fire door open and dived into the hotel, slamming it shut behind us. Rushing to the window, I saw that the water level wouldn't stop rising. It kept rising, and then suddenly it stopped. We were safe. And then I woke up. It was June 2018, and for weeks now I'd had a reoccurring dream that we were on holiday in Mallorca with my family and a tsunami hit the island. The problem was, we were booked to go on holiday in Mallorca for our summer holiday. It's just an anxiety dream, my husband Eddie tried to reassure me. Don't worry, it's obviously not going to happen. Anyway, in July we flew out to Mallorca, and the hotel looked exactly like the hotel in my dreams. I did my best to push my worries to the back of my mind and enjoy my time with my kids, but on the outside I was happy, on the inside I was still nervous. We'd only been there for a day when my Aunt Liz called me. Are you alright? She gasped. I saw on the news what happened. What happened? I asked, confused. There's been a tsunami in Mallorca, she said. I rushed to Google it and realised that a tsunami had indeed hit Mallorca. A massive 1.5 metre wave struck the town on Monday the 16th of July, causing flooding and water damage. Video footage showed beachside tables and chairs spinning around the sea, just like in my dream. Luckily, we were safely on the other side of the island and not affected by the tsunami, but I was still completely and utterly gobsmacked at what I'd seen. I'd had precognitive dreams before, but even by my standards, this was a very accurate one. I think the dreams, my intuition's way of preparing me for what was going to happen, but also telling me that we'd all be safe. So,
Thank you.
thought I'd do a little bit.
Okay, thank you for that experience that you've had. I suppose there's quite a bit in that, in dreams. I don't have that many myself, but anyway, I'm going to ask Effie if she will give us a talk on whatever subject she wants, and if she doesn't want to, we'll do something
That's
else.
awfully decent of you, Mark. Well, I mean, Sam's reading is very, very interesting. There are very, very few mediums who have cognitive ability, because it is one of the most difficult to live with. A, because what do you do with it? If you get the sense of foretelling, technically we all, as mediums, and as Michael will verify, one or two others here this evening, I always said, write them down, date them, sign them, put them in an envelope and put them in the bank or give them to someone, so that you could eventually build up a history of either getting precognition of an event about to happen, or you will have details there that maybe the police might be interested in, but like everyone else, they're not going to pay any attention to you until such times as you've got a history. And the only way to get the history is to write it down. It's also, it's surprising what anxiety will do to you, especially if you're going to have to take children on a plane and you've got to get through security, and if you're going out of Stansted, you've got to get it there and get out without costing you a fortune. All these things build up in your mind, and then of course you can dream. And what you dream, in this case, it would appear that there is a certain amount of authenticity to it, because the tsunami happened on the other side of the island. But theoretically, it should have happened where they were. So from that point of view, spirit world could simply be testing whoever it was who was given the information, just to see A, what they do with it, and B, just how upset they get. Because working the spirit, you really do have to try and remain as calm as possible. Because it is like the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm when you're working the spirit. And from there, it is do no harm to you. So to give you something that you cannot carry, or you do not know how to carry, or how to deal with. So from that point of view, most of the time when you dream, let's hope they're all like that big house, or that Rolls Royce, or that tall hunk of a man, or whatever it is, ladies, and women for the gentlemen. They do no harm. It is a way of the brain relaxing, throws up stuff, and sometimes you get the answer to a question that you had 2 or 3 days before, but you couldn't quite recall the information. The dream helps you to assemble it. It is a form of relaxation. Some people only dream in black and white, some dream in colour. Again, there's no preconditions to how you do it. It's entirely up to you. It's your head, it's your brain that's throwing out the stuff. It also helps, of course, if you possibly do not feed it with alcohol before you actually go to sleep, because you never know what you'll get under those circumstances. However, as I said, there are all types of mediums, all shapes, sizes, ability, you name it. Each one will get the gift that is applicable to them, and it is up to them to actually develop it. And from there on in, what you do with it is entirely up to you. As likewise, you, as the human being, is the higher spirit anyway. You have the intellect, you have what takes us a lot further away from some animals. Some animals do have it. It's the imagination. That is the most critical thing. And then you have the computer, which helps you sort it out as to whether it's reality, future, past, or what it is. And then you have the emotions to go with it. It's the same with you as the person. You energize whatever it is that you touch and that you deal with, because you bring that ability to it. There are different techniques people use, spiritual mediums, or just simply mediums. Even the fortune tellers used to use the old little ball, crystal balls, and supposedly look into that. It was always a good idea, because they could usually read body language as well, so they were ahead of the game generally. The gift, you are spirit, and whatever you touch and whatever you do, you can energize that, whether it's animal, vegetable, or mineral. It is you who energize it. So if someone says, here's some stones, these are very good for you, the stones won't do you any harm, because they'll lay them on you, but it's you who energize them. And it's the same with the reading of the cards. It's how they are interpreted as well. The only trouble with cards is that they have a tendency to try to read past, present, and future. And the future is in law in this country is illegal. And it is definitely illegal and unlawful from the law of love, from the universe, from the spirit world, because you must not change someone's karma. They have to live their lives, make their decisions, learn from their decisions, whether good, bad, or indifferent, but that's what they're here for, to learn and know themselves. And if dreams help you to do that, fine, that's good. And if you have got precognition I will say to you, well, the best of luck, because it is one of the most difficult gift to use. And there are usually only about 5 in every generation that will have that pure gift. And they invariably do not publicize it at all because it is so, so very difficult. Right, that seems to be it.
That seems to be it. Yeah.
Now I can get on with Mike to tell me I can get on with it. So it's my lot too. It's all right, Michael.
Thank you.
You can relax now. Just sit back. May I come to you, please? Now, I should say to you, if I do come to you and you don't want me to, say no, because you won't offend me. But if all of you say no, I can leave as well. I really don't mind. I've been coming here for well part of near 13 years. So from that point of view, and I should warn you, my mediumship is not like a lot of my colleagues. I do not give private readings from what we call the platform, even though I'm not standing up on the platform, right? The people who will come through to me bring through part of their personality and their character for you, just for you. And my job as a medium is to give you the evidence of the existence of the world of spirit. Only you have the proof. Only you have the proof. You'll either have your own memory, a family memory, or even an artifact. But the main thing is, if you say yes to whatever I'm doing, and I do like to hear your voice, because the ones I'm talking to may not have heard your voice for a while, and smiling helps no end. If you say yes, or anybody says anything in the room, and who says, I can take that, that sounds very familiar, they have begun to go further their spirituality. That is what it's all about, to make you think, and then reach your own conclusions. So, in so saying, I'm asking who is with you, and that's how I work. I go to you, and then I ask who's with you. And I have a lady who's just walked in. She's about my height, about the 5'4" mark. I've already dropped half an inch, so fair enough. 5'4", and she's coming on a very strong family link to you as well. I sense I have a mother link here. Mother is obviously still alive, is she not?
Yes, she is, yeah.
Grandmother?
She's in spirit, yeah.
Sorry?
She's in spirit.
She's in spirit. This lady would have carried just that little bit more weight than I did. And she lived to a reasonably advanced age.
Yes.
I'm getting that feeling of her. But she wasn't at all herself at the very end, she tells me.
Yes.
And so she's just simply coming through to say to you, hello, it's very nice to see you. But I'm getting this from this lady. In her younger years, she was an incredibly strong-willed woman.
Yes.
And she tells me that you are too, but you tend to moderate it slightly more than she did.
Yeah.
And therefore you don't get yourself into so many sort of possible scrapes and not quite arguments, but a bit of falling out and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now for that she is actually apologising for, because she said it was unnecessary at times. Because she actually knew who she was. It's just that she was trying to draw people a lot closer to her.
Yeah,
And they
like that.
didn't always, they couldn't just, how do I put it? It's as if she had an aura around her and they got too close, they almost got singed, unless they were equally strong.
Yeah.
So she's, as I said, she's just coming through to say hello, it's nice to see you, and you have to look after yourself though. You apparently haven't been sleeping very well either.
No, that's right.
No. They are trying to sort that out for you, because they, as I said, I would not say anything here on a platform that would embarrass you or give you any problems. But they are aware of other things that's going on around you that do need sorting.
Yes.
But you need the strength to also sort. And that's what they're intending to provide for you, if you like. Take her love and know that she's with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Now come to the young lady sitting at the back.
Yes, that's
Yes.
fine.
Good, good, good. Now, I really, because you're quite some distance away, and there's nothing really wrong with my eyesight, but you look very young. You are over 16, are you?
Yes, I
Good,
am.
good. Well, the best of luck, because you'll get away with it for a number of years. Yes. Again, I have another lady who has come through. And I sense that she's known to the family. I'm not getting that very close feeling like a grandmother. It's more like an aunt who almost, she's given me the impression of being like a school teacher.
Yeah. Yes.
You can take her? Good, because whew, this lady didn't take prisoners, did she?
Yes.
No, she didn't. No. Well, she's come through because I rather gather that what she wants to bring through to you is she's using the term self-knowledge. You must be going down, you must already be looking back over your life to a certain extent,
Yes.
and you're beginning to dispense with the stuff you don't want, or shall I use the word need? But if I use the word require, it's probably better, right? And that's what she's giving me the impression that for every time you make a decision within yourself, you intrinsically get stronger. And that's all she's here for you to know. Actually, she's also telling me that you are also becoming aware of spirit to a certain extent. It's that feeling that somebody has just passed you, or you see it out the corner of your eye, and you look, and there's nothing there.
Yes.
But that's spirit just tapping on the door of your brain to see if you are prepared to talk with them and work with them. The lady is also giving me the impression, and she's giving me the colour blue for you, which for me is healing, is also going through to you. But I understand from her that you must also have an aptitude towards healing as well. You do?
Yes, yeah.
Good. That's all right. You don't know me, I don't know you, so you've got to think about how could I find this woman out of your family, okay? It's a question of just take her regard, take her love. They are watching over you because I'm being shown like a flower opening. So the information and the expansion of your charisma and your personality is all in flow, if you like. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Now I come to the lady sitting. Good evening to you. I always said good afternoon. It's the lady that I have with me. She was quite elderly when she passed into the world of spirit. And I gathered she had a bit of a problem with her chest. And she also had a bit of a problem with her memory at the last, hence the good afternoon. I thanked her and told her not to worry. We're all friends here. Is it Mother that I have with me? Yes. Because I'm getting a very loving lady at the same time. And she was a hugging sort of lady. And that's what she really wants to bring through to you, is a big hug. And she's, Michael, the lady. Now don't start that, because I'm known to wake them up if they don't. I really am. Yeah. Yeah. The lady's here. Your mum is here because she wants to reassure you that she is fine. She's well. She thanks you for all of the time and the effort that you put in with her before she passed over. And she will be around you. You can always rely upon that. Okay? Try not to be too sad. But these tears are very good. These are very healing tears with you. And Mum knows that. She said she's surprised you haven't broken down long before now, in public as well. And I said to her, not in public, we're in a private place. So from that point of view, just know that you're well loved. Actually, she's now, her mother is there, and she had sisters. Yes, they're all together. Actually, they've become quite a formidable group. I've just seen them now. I'm not unthankful I'm not in your shoes, because they will dictate to you, as you well know. They won't do it quite directly, but you will constantly feel things like, I can't do that, or I can't say that. That's their influence. Take their love. Know that they're with you. There's also animals as well in the world of spirit. And she's just told me that, to tell you that they're okay as well. Okay, bless you. What is it about apple pie, though? Oh, as long as we're hitting all sorts of the right notes, that's all my job is. I'm listening to the lady, she's just giving me the information. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to me. Thank you. May I come to the gentleman sitting by the fireplace? The gentleman with the beard. Good evening to you, sir. I have a lady and a gentleman who've come through. I don't sense the gentleman was very tall. He would have been about the 5'10" mark. And the lady was just that bit shorter. I sense I have grandfather and grandmother here, because the gentleman's wearing braces, and I haven't seen braces on a man for a while. Did you know your grandparents?
Yes.
Did you know the gentleman who would have worn the braces?
No, not what I call.
Sorry?
Not what I can
Not what he. Well, he's doing the classic things you see him doing on television. He's doing that and then letting them go. He says, "Stop doing that, sir." But it's a question of, he's using those, I think, as a way of, for some reason or another, you are in the position at the moment of having to make decisions. And these braces being snapped back, it's as if you have to make decisions a bit more firmly. Yes? Well, he is definitely around you. He's watching over you on that score. Because I gather, listening to him and hearing and seeing him, I get a man who is pretty straightforward. And he did speak his mind, but he was never directly rude, especially to women. But he was, you know, he would take a man on quite firmly if he needed to get put down. The lady now, she has been champing at the bit because she wants to say hello. Is there a birthday coming up? I get
one in September.
Yeah, because I get the feeling from her that it's the birthday. She loved birthdays. She loved people to gather together. Nothing gave her greater pleasure than to talk to everybody and find out what the whole family's doing. She tells me you've been very quiet recently, though. Not quite secretive, but you've been quiet. She hasn't been able to find out what you've been up to. I said, it's not her business. But she said, it is. I'm the grandmother. And she could be like that, couldn't she? She could get quite ferocious at times, almost. But she wasn't very tall, was she?
No.
Bundle of energy. Well, that's all they're really bringing through to you, is their energy. Apart from their love. They come through on love anyway, but it's energy that they want to give you. Because I'm sensing from the combined vibes of them that you're in the process of change. And it requires you to give determination to see and carry things through. And they're going to be around you for that. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you, madam?
Yeah.
Good evening to you. I have a lady who's come through again. Again, she's not very tall, about my height. And I sense that she went into the world of spirit, probably in her 70s. Yeah. And she did have, again, a bit of a problem with her chest. Breathing problem, because we're not doctors, we don't prescribe or diagnose. The only thing that she's actually drawn my attention to immediately is to my feet. And when they do that, it's either she had a problem with her feet, you have a problem with your feet, or you felt as if you've been walking on eggshells recently. Yeah. Yes. Because she said you have been incredibly diplomatic. And she's very, very proud of you. I sense I have grandmother here again. Yes. And you look not unlike her. There is the look of the family of the women. Same sort of hair, yes? The same colour thing, basically. Yes, she tells me that you've handled the situations very tactfully. And she's highly impressed with that. Because she said as a young, even only a couple of years ago, you would have flown off the handle, apparently. You would have settled somebody's hash very quickly. But at the moment, apparently, you're much more mature and you're doing it step by step, trying to get them to realise that they're totally in the wrong and it couldn't possibly be your fault. I did like this lady. She's got a nice sense of humour, didn't she? She just loved her family and she loved being around the family. And that's what she's bringing through to you, is simply her love. She's bringing you through the energy that you need, because you have a tendency to go helter-skelter and will use up all your energy, and then you almost crash back down. You need the sunshine as well, apparently. You function better with sunshine. Take her love. Know that she's with you. She suddenly called out the month of October as either an anniversary, a passing, or even of a birthday. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you, madam? Good evening to you. I have a gentleman who has come through. I sense And he's coming on a very protective link. So it's either a husband or a father. He would have stood probably around about 5'10", 5'11". He was quite well built and a very, always very tidy, very neat and tidy. Is it father or is it father? Now he's come through because apparently you've been in a bit of a pickle recently. He's using that term. And but he said it's a bit like coming out of a bath. You've actually surfaced and you're beginning to sort the things out. He is around you quite a bit. You do talk to your father, don't you? Yes. And he said, but you have, in whatever the problem is, because he's not giving it to me, but he's just giving me the sense that it was sort of around you and you've had to sort it out in your own time, in your own way. And he has been with you when this has been going on. He thanks you also for the prayers that you do send out, and that you're also asking for healing as well, not only for either yourself but someone very close to you. He's authorizing me to tell you that the healing is being sent through. What is it about? He would like you to also calm down. Does that make sense to you? Because I'm getting the sense he wants you to breathe in, let it out, and relax. And he said that you will then sleep better as well, but you will also, you will communicate better. It's just better as well. I'm asking, what does you mean? He said sometimes you get a bit tongue-tied when you want to say something really, to the point. But if you relax, it will all come. Take his love. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to me. May I come to the end, please? May I come to you?
Yes.
Thank you. I have a sense of a younger element coming in, a younger energy. Okay, bear with me, I'm just getting the sense. And I sense it's a younger woman. She would have passed into the world of spirit, maybe in her 20s. Because she would have worn her hair very similar to you. No, bear with me though, because they come in and I will ask who's bringing her as well. Just let me get this one out. But I get the feeling she's giving me like Sweden or Switzerland. She's just said that, right? And she does look very much in that sort of nationality, okay? I'm asking now, who is with her? The lady who's brought her in would be again about my height, just around the 5'4" mark. And she's coming in definitely on a strong family link. I sense grandmother. Is grandmother in the world of spirit?
She is.
Yes. And grandmother was very forthright, was she not?
Yes.
And she held her own ground at all times.
Definitely.
Yes. And she tells you that you have the same capacity and the same technique. In fact, no, your technique is better than hers. You don't offend to that many people, but they do get to know where they stand. I'm asking how she knows this young woman, and all she's giving me is that this is like a teacher coming, right? So, but again, I can understand why your grandmother and she would be together, because they're both very, very strong.
Okay.
Strong-willed women as well as physically strong, right? She's made me do this. Did she have a problem with her hands though before she passed over?
She did, arthritis.
Yes. And have you a problem with your hands from time to time?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, get very cold.
Yes.
Yes, that's what she's just told me. This young lady that's with me, who's come with your grandmother, has brought her with her for you, because she is bringing that Nordic look about her, and there is strength for you, because I rather gather from the combined effort, both of them, that you have obviously got things going on around you at the moment that requires you to be solid in your head and knowing what you're doing.
Yes.
This other young lady is here to back you up on that. You will hear somebody else who gives it to her, give you her in the future. She's going to be in your aura like a soul sister for the moment in the world of spirit. But grandmother's keeping a watching brief over her because I think she's training her, because she tells me that you are quite some way down your spiritual pathway as well.
Okay.
You've been making decisions as well as regards to your spirituality. So the combined, as I said, grandmother and this other young woman, they're going to be in your corner for some time.
Thank you.
So take their love and do relax, because they will give you the strength you need for whatever it is at the moment. And they've also given me now, I can see a piano, something not unlike this, but it was black. You like, I'm giving the sense of music for you as well,
Okay.
to help you to relax.
Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you, Mel?
Yes, yes.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
I have a gentleman who's come through. He stands quite a tall man, and I get him quite a reserved man. He's quiet. He knows who he is. He knows what he's doing. He's coming in. I'm sensing he's coming on a very strong friendship link to you.
Right.
I'm not sensing father, but he's in that sort of era, right? Someone that
Yes.
you would have maybe looked upon as an uncle, but who was not actually an uncle, not a blood relative, let's put it that way, but he was known to the family.
Can't think at the
Okay,
moment.
I'm asking him why he's coming through. He tells me that you haven't been doing a lot of smiling recently. Things have been a bit drab and uninteresting, apparently.
Yes.
Now, he can remember you in your younger days when you were out and about, full of energy, smiling and having fun, right?
Yes.
And that's all he wants to come through, to remind you of that time. Because you function best when you're on the up,
Yes, yes.
right? And he said, it is within your remit to put that back together again. It has in some ways been easier to be on the sort of like a downward slope,
Yes.
because he's trying to give me this, if you have been listening to other people, having to do what other people have said, some of it which was not, it did not feel correct to you.
Yes.
But now you've decided to go with your own instincts and let everybody else give you their information, and then you take exactly what you want.
Yes, yes.
Good. Well, he's obviously around you and he knows you very well. So what he really would like you simply to do is, instead of worrying at night, right?
Yes.
Once you get close to going to bed or going to sleep, imagine a box and put the worry in the box, shut it and even lock it so that you get some sleep. And in the morning, when you open it, then you choose which bits that you want to worry about. Because you can't worry about everything. And he tells me that's what you're doing.
Yes, yes.
Take his regard, I would say take his love. You will have to look for him when you're in probably late teens, maybe early 30s. He was there. He knew the family and he watched you, if you like, blossom. That's what he said. And that's what is so sad at the moment, because it's as if you have closed up just to survive. And he said that was never you.
I don't like it.
No?
That's it, yes.
So that's it. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, bless you.
May I come to you, please?
Yes.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Again, I have a lady who has come through, and she's coming on a very strong family link to you. Mother is still alive, is she not?
No.
She's not? Okay. But your mother and your grandmother, you all look very similar, did you not? Facially.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you look at the photographs, and you've been looking at photographs, they tell me, you can see, oh yeah, I know who that is, I know that, because there is that look about you. This lady, and I believe I have the two of them now, mother and grandmother, because they're standing side by side, and they were virtually about the same height. One, since grandmother was more your build, mother would have been slightly more my build. Yes? Because they can't hear you at the back, you see.
Right, yes.
And they've both come in, but they came in separately. They're bringing you just simply, if I say buckets of love, that's what they want to give you. They want to give you the sense of comfort as well. that life too around you has been a bit drab and a bit dreary and a bit fed up. They know that, and they say that it is most unfortunate at the moment because it seems as if you're in a learning curve for yourself. You're learning to know more about yourself, how you think, and when you review your life to date, there are times when you can now definitely see where there was a mistake. You can't do anything about it, so there's no point in worrying about it.
No.
And that's what they want to bring through to you, is the sense of space. Give yourself space. Don't be too hard on yourself, because we're all here to learn. And some of us do make mistakes. We can learn from the mistakes. We can move on. But sometimes it is the regret that sticks, and they'd like you to reevaluate whether or not it should be you regretting or let the rest deal with it, if that all makes sense.
Yes. Thank you.
Take their love.
Thank you.
These two women are very, very confident and very strong. They were while they were on the earth plane, but they know what they're talking about, because I rather gathered that, as they said, they wobbled a bit as well. You know, they questioned themselves.
Right.
But now that they're in the world of spirit and they've had a chance to judge their own lives,
Yeah.
they don't want you to go through the same wobble that they did. You don't need it.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to the lady sitting by the wall? Good evening to you. I've gone quiet because the lady who was coming in to talk to you suddenly stopped. And I'm getting a lady who's probably been about my height, maybe just slightly taller. And she carries a little bit of weight. I have to be careful because they can box your ears from the feather as well. She's coming on a very strong family link to you. I'm not sensing a mother or a grandmother. I'm sensing one of the women in the family who is very close. She would have passed into the world of spirit in her 60s. She wasn't that old when she passed over. You do? You can identify? Because what she wants to bring through to you is a bit of fun. She said it's been all pretty boring recently, hasn't it? You haven't actually been asleep some of the time, but you feel as if you might as well have been. And I get this because this lady is bringing you energy. This is what you desperately need, because there are times when you feel so exhausted, she tells me. You're not ill, you're just exhausted. You seem to have quite a range of responsibilities around you, and they can require a lot of juggling at times to keep everybody happy. The only one who's not happy is yourself. The lady is here just to say hello to you, to let you know that the spirit world and the family, the women in the family in the world of spirit, are very aware of your situation. Okay? They are trying to help you. Right? And I'm also getting a tremendous sense of healing. Do you work as a healer? You may not work as a healer, but you are actually, people rely upon you?
Yeah.
Yes, you heal in that respect. And there is a great deal, you give out a lot of your energy and a lot of your love as well to other people. It's not that you have to change. All you have to do is time manage it slightly better. You must have time for yourself. Take this lady's regard, take her, I'm going to say love, but I don't know the connection, let's put it that way. Sorry?
It was an aunt.
An aunt, yeah. There is a likeness anyway. Again, there is a family resemblance. It's probably in the chin area more than anything. Take her love. Thank you very much indeed. Bless you. Can I come to the gentleman at the back?
Yep.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
I have a gentleman who has walked in, and I'm sensing father in the world of spirit. This is a father figure that I have with me. I have that sense because I rather gather he was a very positive man. He tended to tell you what to do and when to do it and how not to do it. And he and I would never have got on.
You didn't get along with most people.
only because he was his own worst enemy in many ways,
Yeah.
because he had everybody's best wishes and their best wishes in his mind. He just didn't always find the correct words to get it across, and therefore when he got, as he's telling me, when he felt wrong-footed, if you like, then he would become more authoritarian, which is the no, or you can't, that sort of thing. Well, to all intents and purposes, he's come through to partly apologise. And I had to use the word partly, because it would have been almost against his whole ethos of living to apologise fully. He would prefer still to half your fault, half my fault. You know, at the moment it's still partly. But he is aware that he could have been much more relaxed. He could have been even more friendly in his own way. He tells me, though, that you do not suffer from his personality, if you like, personality. As long as you're not angered. If somebody angers you, that's a different matter. But as long as they're all hail fellow well met, you'll all get on very well together.
Yeah.
Now, he never really established that sort of friendship, let's put it that way. He was a bit too intense on that. And so from that point of view, he's simply coming through to say hello to you. He's not surprised that you're here, so you must be following or becoming more interested.
He only died about a month ago.
Ah, right. Well, he is okay, you know, he's fine. But he's having a chance to review his life. So as you've turned up, you're the first to get the benefit of it. So take his regard and give you his love, because he actually does want to send that through. But while he was on the earth plane, he had never said that. He was not very well at all before he passed, was he?
No.
Yes. And getting the sense of tremendous frailness in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was contrary to his basic demeanour. While he was a younger man and really just before old age, he was actually very together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh very.
And he's getting back that way. So take his regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bless you. May I come to you, madam? You thought I wasn't coming to you, didn't you? Again, I have, I sense again a younger male energy coming through.
Okay.
I'm not seeing them, I'm just getting the sense of the man at the moment. I don't sense he was a very old man either. Maybe in his late 20s or maybe even early 30s. Not very old. But he didn't look old. He's now presented himself. He had one of those fortunate faces. He always looked years younger than he actually was. Do you know who I've got?
No.
All right. He's coming on I'm getting the sense it is on a friendship link. He would be known to the family. I'd rather gather that he passed almost very quickly. It's as if he had an asthma attack and that was it. I will leave that. Okay, I will leave that with you. If you talk to the family, you may find him. Okay. I'm asking who he's with, who's come along with him. And I'm sensing it is a gentleman who's brought him in. Someone who would have stood about. He looked taller than he actually was, let's put it that way. And it's like a father figure here. Not father, grandfather. And grandfather was another very straightforward man.
I don't know. I didn't meet him.
You didn't meet him. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. He's just simply come through to bring this chap so that because what they want to do with you is to give you colour. Do you paint?
I used to.
Yeah, that's what they're giving me. You like colour. You can use colour to lift your mood. This is the thing. And they will only suggest if they cannot tell you to do anything. The suggestion is that perhaps if you could get back to either painting or at least doing some sketching. Have you also had a crack at sketching clothes?
No.
All right. As a dress designer, that type of thing.
No.
No. Well, that's what because apparently there's a certain amount of intricacy in that, and you like things that are very intricate. You like working these things out.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. And so from that point of view, this young man, the one who came through and passed over, you will have to go back a a few years just to find him. He was around the family at the time. Father knows him.
I know. Oh, okay. Possibly then, if my dad knows him,
Yeah.
then
I know.
yes,
But
possibly.
the combined energy from this chap and your father is literally is to give you a bit of peace and quiet. That's what you've been asking for, isn't it? You don't want to go to sleep or anything like that. You just want every now and again a bit of peace and quiet for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's why there's perhaps the suggestion of the painting again, because that you would have to give yourself some time. And he tells me that if you do make up your mind to do such a thing, then you will separate the time for yourself.
Okay.
So take his love, your grandfather, take his love and know them. Father is still alive, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, but Father knew him as well. Okay, bless you. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
indeed. I come to you. Yes, no, you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sorry, just thank you.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Straight down. And that was it, because the lady that I've got with me, she was, she's coming in again on a very strong family link to you. I'm getting a sense of a woman who was a complete and utter bundle of energy, always on the go, and had a lot of friends around. She's giving me the sense that it is like I want to say mother-in-law, but I don't know if that's correct. It's a mother figure, but I don't sense it's the straightforward mum. Do you understand? You can't, do you know mother-in-law?
I do, I guess.
Yeah, she's still here.
No.
All right. This lady that I have, she would have, she's not very tall, about my height, but also very well turned out. Very neat and very tidy.
Yes.
And she's drawn my attention to my hands, so she looked after her hands, let's put it that way.
Don't know.
Don't know it. What have you been doing with your hands recently? Have you felt your hands being sore for whatever reason?
Yes, a little bit,
Yeah,
yes.
because she's just made my hands burn and it's not healing at the moment, right? This lady, what she's come in is really, again, it's just as they do, they come on love, and it's just to say hello. And it's nice to see you. Something about, is it rose trees in the garden? Something to do about the garden.
Oh,
I've got,
there's lots of things going on with the garden at the moment.
all right. And because she said that that's where you can relax.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is a question also that you too have to take more care of yourself as well. A bit of tender, loving care won't go amiss for you, because you're doing a lot for other people. This is the thing. Take her regard, take her love. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. Where am I? Oh. Can I come to you, please, the young lady sitting? Yes. Good evening to you. I have a gentleman who's come through. I don't sense he was very old. He was fair age, but he didn't necessarily look it either. Father in the world of spirit? Yes. Yes, because he's coming on that very protective link. He's making me do that, like you're sitting, but I'm up to the chest. As if he's giving us comfort. And it's heartwarming, that's what he's saying. I get the sense from this man, he was a very gentle man as well. There was a gentle side to him. He came over sometimes as a bit reserved, but he wasn't shy. He just didn't force himself, let's put it that way. And he's a bit concerned about the fact that you're always on the go. And he's talking about, have you been losing weight? Yes. Yes, because that's what he's mentioned. It's not that you're not eating, it's just that you're burning it up. And maybe that you have to reconsider what it is you're doing, because your energy levels will fluctuate quite considerably, don't they? And at the moment you're on a high, but you can drop down. And if you do that without sufficient food in you and protein into you, I'm not a doctor, was it? Is that you will really feel shattered, wrung out almost. And he doesn't want that. He said, you have too much on your plate generally anyway. So it is important that you do look after yourself. Take his love. Know that he's definitely with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I come to you, madam? Mother is in the world of spirit.
Yes.
Mother and you looked very similar.
Yes.
Yes. She was very delicate before she passed over, was she not?
Yes.
But she's fine now. She's okay. And she's telling me she's completely compos mentis now. So she must have been a little bit forgetful before she passed. She's fine. She just wants to come through and tell you that she's okay. But you also have got to stop worrying. She tells me that you're a very great worrier. And that is just simply eating up some of your day. What is it? I'm hearing singing at the moment. I'm hearing choir singing. I'm not suggesting that you join a choir or anything like that, but it is that upliftment that she wants to bring through to you.
Okay.
And she says you can take it in the form of music as well. So do take care of yourself. That's what she's completely concerned about, that you're not taking 100% care. You say anybody asks, you say you're taking 95, but she would like you to take 100%. Because other people still rely upon you, don't they? They come to you and they
Not
talk
so
to you.
much. Not so much now.
No, but they still talk to you.
Yeah.
And you are expected to listen and give good advice. But you need strength to do that. So take her love. Know that she's with you and she's watching over you.
Okay.
Thank you. May I come to the lady who saw me? May I come to you?
Yeah.
I've heard the word cousin called out. I'm asking let me see who's behind the word. I'm sensing a man? A youngish person, not very old, who seems to be coming in on a cousin link. Yeah. He's quite a broad-built young man. He had a great sense of humour. He obviously passed into the world quite relatively young. I've asked him his age, but the closest I'm getting to it is in his 40s. You don't know. Okay, don't worry about that, because this is when they sometimes test type things. So I'm asking who's with him. It's a lady who's come through. And she would be about my height. She would have carried a little bit more weight than me. She's coming on a very strong love link and a strong mother link. Yeah. Mother is still here. Yeah. Good evening, madam. Grandmother? Yeah. Grandmother?
Yeah.
Grandmother, was she a very good cook?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she said, that's the difference between you all. I said, that's not fair. But,
That's correct.
yeah. And she also liked, she's talking about two things, ice cream and cheesecake. All right, we're all together then, that's the main thing. Well, she's just to do that, just to make you laugh.
Oh, thank you.
Because there has been quite a bit of things going on around you that has all been up here.
Yeah.
And it has required you to give time and thought, because you will have to put in a certain amount of energy and you have to know if you can do it over a period of time. I've asked her what she's talking about and she told me to mind my own business. Yeah. Did she knit as well?
Yes.
All right, she's sitting there knitting, you see, and she's saying this is how busy she is, boom, 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 you know. Anyway, I get the sense she was a very affable lady. She did know this young man. He'll be on the periphery of the family. He's probably in some sort of photograph. She said, you haven't been sorting out photographs recently, have you?
No.
But you will have to, because you and your mother are the only two who know who everybody is. The next generation will know, more or less. Yeah. What is it also about bicycles? Something to do with you with a bicycle? You never had a mishap with a bicycle?
Yeah, only oil, but I'm not having an accident.
No, but there is a connection to the bicycle, is there?
Yeah.
That's all right. Mind you, I rather get the feeling that this lady preferred her comfort as well, more than anything. She's giving me nice big cushions, which would be nice puffed up cushions. She tells me you like your leisure time as well, but not a lot of it, is there? Yeah. You don't get to watch a lot of television, she tells me.
I don't really like telly.
No, because she did, but you don't watch it, so she can't see it. Don't be mean. Even if you don't watch
Leave
it,
the radio on.
put the radio on, she can watch it while she's there. Have you been considering redecorating them?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's been around you while you've been thinking about that, but it's been some time you've been thinking about it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't made up your mind. She'll make up your mind for you if you're not careful. But take...
Do it for me.
No. But she knows somebody who might. Anyway, take her love. Know that she's with you. She watches over you in a very benign manner, which is just as well with your lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I come, the gentleman sitting behind you? May I come to you, go?
Yes, yes,
Don't normally come to another medium. It's like Coles to Newcastle, isn't it? But I do have a lady who's come through, and she's not very tall, about my height. I sense I have mother here. And mother was formidable, was she not?
yes.
She knew who she was and what she was doing and where she was going. And she's standing on her front door step. She's standing there, and there's no way I'm getting across that doorstep because she doesn't know me. But she's come through because she wants, what is it about? Something to do with you. Something in the ethereal around you at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what she's talking about? Oh, that's all right, as long as you know. And as far as she's concerned, you better watch it. Okay? You can go so far, but you must not go to the end because you haven't got enough support around you. Right?
No.
So just take her love. She is with you, she is around you. I thanked her for coming. I would not stand around her for too long because she would tell me my fortune as well. She was very shrewd, was she not? Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
That's it, I believe. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and
Well
gentlemen.
done, thank you very much. Effie's worked hard and it's been wonderful to have her here. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Mike.
Can we please close in prayer? Would you do that?
Yes.
Please, would you abide, please?
Thank you. Divine Eternal Creator, higher spirits, guides, teachers, and all of the loved ones and friends who came through to work with me this evening. Once again, I thank you for your love and your energy, and I would ask for one further favour, that each and everyone here travels safely to their homes and that their families are protected until such times as we should meet again. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Do stay for refreshments. We have tea, coffee, maybe some cake, and we're going to start off with the